AI is very challenging. It is giving us challenge in differently, like how positively we can use AI.
It was a blank canvas. So when they gave it, it was like if you have seen any shade of a factory, or it was like a plain shade-like thing.
Now our role is to design that brand completely. After drawing boards, we upskilled ourselves to work on CAD drawings. After the CAD drawings, we upskilled ourselves to send emails, and then, we are the generation which we have taken the cell phones in our hand for the first time. So, वो जो shift था ना, that technological change in the practice was very much challenging.
The serial designer welcomes architect PGAG. They specialize in cinema design. They have over 20 years of experience, and this year happens to be their anniversary. Welcome them today, Prakash Gore and Amita Gore ma'am. They have completed 500 plus screens all over India and abroad as well. They have also worked in 7 countries apart from India: Bulgaria, Romania, Oman, Kenya, Australia, and Sri Lanka. This is going to be a hell of an episode. Stay tuned for the entire episode. A very warm welcome to Prakash sir and Amita ma'am. And I can't tell you how happy I am, because it's been 20 years of your field, and of course you all are together working in this, for this architecture firm of yours. And you all specialize in theaters and cinema architecture. I mean, what a interesting field to be working in. And any insights you would like to give us?
Thank you, first of all. We have been following your channel, The Serial Designer, and it's a wonderful, experience that you are always, taking efforts to meet different people in the design field. It is not only architects, but I have seen that you are meeting to different people and giving exposure to young architects maybe, and because of that a lot of design related talks are seen on your channel. So we congratulate you for that.
Thank you.
That's a great initiative. So the firm of our firm's name is PGAG Architects, and eventually when we formed the firm's name, we started a discussion like some projects we happened to get as our own project in our practice, and that was being a cinema project. It was a very prestigious project for us, and we started discussing लेकिन नाम क्या रखना है. So discussion ऐसे end हुआ. Some people know you and some people know me, so it is going to be Prakash Gore and Amita Gore together. So क्या रखते हैं फिर, PGAG Architects रखते हैं क्या? ऐसे कुछ options निकले उसमें से, तो उसमें से ये final हुआ कि चलो PGAG Architects रखते हैं. So accidentally formed name of the firm.
It was an accidental, you can say, formation of the firm. It was not decided that time to how much we will go a long way. But it started with some drawings of a cinema. At that time, cinema multiplex was a new thing, totally new thing. No one was knowing how the things are. Everyone was aware of cinemas which are standalone. Those are old properties like 500 seater, 400 seater, big screens and all, Minerva and all these Excelsior and Sterling and all these things.
Which are still here. Yeah,
which are still here, of
which
course.
is still here.
But people are not aware of the cinemas in numbers like 6 or 7 screens or something like that in a mall, basically. So these are like, this was what we were in that time. It was a second property which was going to come in Mumbai. So it was eventually like a accidental thing. Like we got from the reference a drawing assignment. This cinema was, this is Fame Malad cinema, I can tell you the name. So for that, the drawings were done by an architect who is in abroad, Thailand based architect, Bangkok based. So we were to, those drawings were only design drawings, concept drawings. So we were to transfer those drawings into working drawings, because the site was very much ready and it was very late over there for them. The delay was there, lot of. So it was very much in the pressure. So we had to complete, say, in 1 month time that time. So we took over that thing because we had experience. Like I also had I had been working before that for Mr. Sanjay Puri, you must be knowing.
Yes.
So it was a great experience with him. And of course, she was working for Raja Auditory. So we had a good experience of working in the offices and all, with the details and everything. We were knowing everything. So we took that assignment, and with that it started. So it was just a drawing job, and after that it goes on
Wow.
a
It
long
got
way.
Then you will
turned out
eventually
into-
specialized in this
Yes.
field.
Yeah, after that assignment, we got an opportunity to work directly with Fame Cinemas with their own projects as a design architect. And then the first of our project, that is Fame Raghulila Mall. Now, since Fame has been taken over by Inox, it is Inox Raghulila Mall, Vashi. So that is still there. The project has been designed by us and is still there. That was the first project. It was designed by us. Earlier, we did some projects with Fame Cinemas by working in collaboration with Bangkok-based architects. So the scope of work was as a local architect. But then later on, we started our own as a cinema architect or their own cinema architect, design architect.
So, any notable project that you've just spoken about, these Inox and Fames, any notable project which you are now proud of, like working for 20 years in this field? I mean, how many multiplexes and how many theatres that you all have designed?
So basically, in our practice, we call it into the number of screens.
Okay.
So we have completed more than 500 number of screens now. And we have worked in total 7 countries including India. So we got the opportunity to work with Cinegrand for their one of the project in Bulgaria. Now that project was having a 6-screen property. It was a 6-screen property, and we had to submit our complete design set and working drawing set to them. The local architect out there was supposed to translate that in their own language, and then coordinate with the local team there of Cinegrand own team. So because of that, that was our first project working for a project abroad.
Yeah.
So our journey started with Cinegrand for the projects abroad. Then we got one more project there itself. That was a 10-screen project for Bulgaria. Then because of our profile in cinema design, we got different opportunities working in cinema design for different countries. Like we have worked for a project which is a 3-screen project. We completely designed it. Prakash visited there for once. And then one of the project was in Australia. For Cinegrand, we did one of the project in Romania. We designed that, but unfortunately that project is not on the floor. Then recently we have completed one project in Oman. So that is one of the very much dearest project to our
Because
both
it was a project where the client, he was an Arab, so he only in one sentence he said that I want a project which should be very grand, very luxurious.
Most of the Oman
yes.
briefs are
that Omani
similar.
grandeur he wanted in that thing. So it was one of the things, like we have to. It was in this thing. It never happens. Like everywhere you have a budget, but here it was not the budget. It was like you should give something which will be like a buzz. We should give that feel. So it was a very good project actually. It was with all formats, with the PLF format, like what we call IMAX over here in common in this thing. It is like a large screen, premium large screen format. So that one was there. Then we have a gold class with the luxurious recliners, with all 176 degrees recline and all, and with the all dining experience and everything like that. When we have a kids cinema in that thing. Kids cinema was with a lounge, with a playful, all the things for the lounge, with the games and everything in that lounge. And with that, the cinema was also with the entry with through the slide and all. It was that type of very.
It's very playful and very different kind of a project that you all actually did.
And all other normal cinemas also were there. So, but the project was very good, with the good height, good everything. Like generally, what happens, like you don't get good height. You have
especially architect, we face a trouble.
Yes,
that, we're not getting that design. We have a design limitation.
Right,
which is like probably height, a few permissions.
Right.
But you all are.
Here it was a blank canvas. So when they gave it, it was like if you have seen any shade of a factory, or it was like a plain shade like thing. So we had to carve out cinemas in that along with the lobby, but should give the maximum. Everything should be used in that thing. We have never wasted any you can say any foot in that thing. We have used the area below the slab. Like cinema has a slanted slab, so there is an area which is below which can be used. So we are used for washrooms, then we are used for some lounge and everything. So we have used each and every area in that area, and also got a grand entrance, you can say entrance lobby lounge. As you enter, it will be like a huge, with say 8-meter height, and with the false ceiling in stretch ceiling and everything in curves and everything. So it was very good project that time, you can see.
When you're like designing cinemas, sound, acoustics, and all these things play a very important role in the user experience. So, how do you think you are, did you like get better at every project, or were you, very familiar with the acoustics knowledge and the sound quality knowledge? Because see, technology changed. IMAX came much later. पहले सिंगल स्क्रीन्स होते थे, फिर चेंज with डॉल्बी आ गया, एटमॉस है, now we have IMAX. So you have also been updated with all these quality trends.
We have to get updated for each and every technology which is coming up.
सिनेमा प्रैक्टिस में काफ़ी चेंजेस आए
Yeah,
हैं, लाइक जैसे पहले प्रोजेक्टर रूम यूज्ड टू बी अ बिग रूम because of analog projectors. The projector used to be a elaborate room. They used to keep those reels and rotate those reels
Winding and everything like it.
Yeah.
Then
So you all have designed for those things also?
Yes,
Yeah.
in the earlier
Yeah.
one, in the first one, it was a typical multiplex which is having some say four cinemas in a row. So they were having a same show going on, say any picture going on. So what used to be there, that there was in first one they will put that reel, and then it will move on the projector, then it will go with the pulley and it will go to enter in the another room,
the next
another position,
projector.
then another. It will go over there, it will get wind up over there, then after it
so
will
we
go
had to
down
make
that
the
way.
provision for all those pulleys.
All those
and
pulleys
everything.
were there. It was such a
So
different
that was that
experience.
era when the projector
But in
room
digital
used
you
to
don't
be
have to do
a,
anything. It is like
bigger size, and now it has been like you have a ceiling mounted projector with booth. We just call it as a projector booth. It is not banned directly, but only a TMS room is there. From there, the entire cinema premises is controlled, and the digital, because of being the cinema being digital, sometimes the rights or the overall streaming and all, everything is controlled by a simple tab. So the owner can sit at home and control the entire cinema operations from anywhere in the country or maybe outside the country as well. And even the technological shift के वजह से काफ़ी सारे changes in practice आए हैं. See, we are the architects like who have seen working on a drawing board.
Drawing boards as
Yes.
well.
Drawing
So
boards.
even that was a challenge for you.
Yeah, so after drawing boards, we upskilled ourselves to work on CAD drawings. After the CAD drawings, we upskilled ourselves to send emails, and then, we are the generation which we have taken the cell phones in our hand for the first time. So वो जो shift था ना, that technological change in the practice was very much challenging. And वो जो मतलब वो फ्लॉपी ड्राइव वाला फेज से आज क्लाउड स्टोरेज के फेज
Zoom
तक
meeting
का
कर
जो
रहे हैं
हाँ ये जो शिफ्ट है वो हम लोग ने देखा हुआ है. So technologically wise, practice was very challenging. And now also AI is very challenging. It is giving us challenge in differently, like how positively we can use AI. There are lot of negative effects what we have been seeing, that people are creating drawings by doing nothing, by having knowledge of nothing. But we are seeing it differently, like how positively we can use AI.
How can
in
you
our
all take
practice.
inspiration from it?
Yeah.
How can you better design these spaces by just maybe imagining is one thing, and doing it and actually working on it.
Yes.
Seeing it come to life is a different thing.
Yeah, building technology will definitely change much better way than what it is right now. Though architectural practice have already evolved around AI construction, AI based construction, interior designing as well, it will go and have a shift there, and we are getting prepared ourselves to to get onto that new wave of AI differently.
And people like you are not even scared to do that, because what you all have seen, as you said,
Exactly.
you've
Yes,
come from
yes.
the era of drawing boards,
Yes.
Exactly.
and you all have adapted till this is going to be like cakewalk for you, even.
No, it is definitely is going to be challenging. Like for example, now because of Pinterest being so famous, we get, see, earlier, whatever the references people used to have a books there, right? We used to refer books, or anyone, whoever is going to refer anything, you used to refer books. Now, everything is available on net because of many medias. So, the challenge is what we get in the practice is like the person before he comes to us, he is aware about what all things he wants. In fact, sometimes he is messed up in his brain that he shows us pictures with different languages. Like कोई डिज़ाइनिंग स्टाइल डिफरेंट होगा, कुछ कलर कॉम्बिनेशन डिफरेंट होगा, किसी का स्केल टोटली डिफरेंट होगा, एंड स्टिल ही वांट्स एवरीथिंग टू बी फिटेड इन हिज ओन प्रोजेक्ट. सो दैट्स अ डिफरेंट चैलेंज, बिकॉज ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी ओनली दिस इज हैपनिंग विद अस.
This happens with you, as in your clients are also having these weird demands, like in Pinterest.
See, not every client,
Because I
but
feel
nowadays,
cinema and theater clients they are very niche clients.
No,
Yeah,
but see, because of OTT, there is a big
Yeah.
shift in our clientele base nowadays.
Okay.
See, because of OTT, all the cinema projects are having a challenge of getting a good content to show in their cinemas, right? So the profit margin is definitely gone down. So because of that, the project viability is changing differently. Okay. Now because of that, in fact, there is a good shift in our practice that now many of the developers are coming up with their own brand. Okay. It's good in a way that earlier our projects or our clients used to be only the cinema exhibitors like PVR or Cinepolis or anything. They are still there. They are still going to be there. But additional to them, the developers who are having their own mall will now invest as in exhibition too, because they are going to renovate or they are going to do their own cinema premises completely on their own. So they will obviously be sharing the profit with the exhibitor or maybe directly with the producer if they have their own cinema brand. So this is a new shift for us. Now our clientele is going to be the developer. So
See, in
now,
that thing, but the problem over there is like we have to educate them because they are a developer, typical builders. They are
Typical builders.
So they don't
every
know.
inch they want
yes,
to
yes,
use.
yes, yes.
Every inch they want to
And
sell.
they don't know about how the cinema should be and everything should be. That what you can say, they don't know that exact what you can say, the feel of the
It's
space
a public
and everything.
space.
Yes, yes,
It's
yes.
a public space. Yeah.
So we have to make them aware for the fire exits also, how the things to be there and how everything. Even for like we have to create a brand for them, like what should be a palette color for your cinema and all these things. We have to give them. So we have to work hard for them more because in the earlier we used to have their own, like these operators, they have their own palettes. So we have to stick to that palette. We can't change that thing. Every operator has his own. You can say palette with the same. Some styles are there.
Brand
some
image.
icon. Some logos are there. So all these things you have to
Yeah,
follow.
you cannot change that. You have to
But
go with
here
the
we have
brand.
to give
Yeah.
everything. We have to convince them that how this will look good. So it is a little hard work, like you can say.
no, in fact, as we said, now if a developer comes to us that he wants to start with his first brand as a cinema brand, okay, now our role is to design that brand completely. He don't have the color palette, he just have a name in his mind, like okay, this is going to be name. So what should be the color palette, which format he should go for. He
So
just
now
have a blank
you all even
space.
have the challenge of
Yes.
assigning a brand identity also.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's also your challenge.
So-
Apart from your acoustics and your
Yeah.
Yes.
cinema.
And many a times it happens like developer is coming up with a blank floor plate, just a column grid. Okay, so now what all formats will be feasible in that? So making alternatives for different formats, like just Prakash explained earlier, the WXL or the PXL format, premium large screen format, gold class, kid cinema, then 4DX,
Yes.
then ScreenX, different formats, how they are feasible in his own premises. We make different alternatives for them. After finalization of the alternative, the main process is like help him to build the shell. Sometimes our scope of work is limited to give these feasibility drawings. We help many developers to only create these feasibility drawing, give them a set of feasibility drawing to complete their shell. It is very important because unless and until he completes his shell
once it is
correctly,
built, then how will you all just come inside and
Yes.
design?
no, it is directly
Because-
connected.
yeah.
These shell designs are directly connected to the ROI of the project. See, the moment I will not give good sight lines, good screen size, and good seating count to the project, and good height inside a lobby. अगर ये सारे पैरामीटर्स इन प्लेस नहीं है तो वो कल जाके एक फ्लॉप प्रोजेक्ट भी हो सकता है, मीडियोकर प्रोजेक्ट भी हो सकता है, और वो एक बेस्ट प्रोजेक्ट भी हो सकता है. सो जो बेस है ना, दैट इज़ द feasibility drawing. So that is why many developers are coming to us to have only a set of feasibility drawing. Because of that they can build their shell, complete their shell, and later on they can discuss with different exhibitors for the exhibition purpose, or they can develop their own brand. And many a times we are getting a challenge like, now the shell is constructed, now you design our own brand for that. So shell is having its own negative points, we have to overcome those, rectify whatever is possible, and then the brand image development, what we discussed, to develop a brand image for him. So अगर उसका slope constructed नहीं है for a gold class cinema, then still guide him that you have a gold class cinema, but we will make some changes in the slope if it is feasible. So still convincing him, because the formats what we select, it totally depends upon which is the location of the cinema. Like for example, if it's a very premium location in a capital city, if it doesn't serve the cinema goers or the viewers with good recliner seats, where the demand is quite good enough, because otherwise everybody is getting the comfort of seeing it on OTT.
Correct.
So why they are coming to
Why are they coming
cinemas?
to pay and go to a cinema?
So the reason to come to cinemas is, one is luxury, which is not having at home. Secondly, a large screen.
That is
So
a big
largest format of the screen, if we make them feasible, make their project more feasible, then it is advantageous for him and he will earn a profit out of it. So that is our role differently played in the
And
design.
also dining experience. If you have dining experience with the chairs and all, now even you have a in cinema dining experience. So that also you can have. All these things are there.
Yeah.
So this makes it different from the normal OTT what you see at the.
But that's a very good point. I mean, somewhere because of this OTT, it must have affected your business as well.
Yes.
You will also have this shift, as you said. You had to shift.
It started with the COVID actually as a convenience, and then it got to
Yes.
that level that really people are facing. Like all these big cinema companies are facing this problem.
In fact, Bollywood in general is facing. I mean, cinema is like just a tool to see, the movies. Even the movies have faced a lot of backlash post COVID. So yeah, overall, even your design and everything, just by one COVID, I don't know how many people have been affected. Endless consequences, and still we are bearing those consequences. But any particular process that you have with, because I'm sure these clients, what you all get, are very different. They are not your residential regular clients that we want this color palette, or we want this, or we've seen this reference image, we want something like this. So what is your design process like? Is it different from our conventional architectural process?
It is totally different. Like in any interior project or any architecture project, like say any office or any residential, you have some certain standard things, like certain arrangement is standard. You can say like for the desk, for the cabins, for the all the
your standard
all-
sizes.
Even the furniture is made through a factory or all these things. Even in the residential also, all the planning is more of like, it is a builder's plan, what you have got. You of course have to work on the materials, different type of materials, of course. In this thing, it is totally a different thing. It is like a blank canvas, and you have to design something different, which will give that wow effect to the person who is coming, because that person is not only coming to see a movie, he is coming to get that experience. That experience is the main thing, because he's getting that experience with his family, and his whole day counts on that thing. So that is the thing which we also have to take care, that it shouldn't be just a viewing place, it should give that pleasure to him. So that grandness and everything like that, pampering should be there in that place, and all these things were to
Yeah, matlab, why is he paying for the full family? He's paying 400 rupees, 450 rupees for a ticket. He wants that entire experience of like a day, as you said. They have to make it a day. Popcorn hai, ya food hai, in dining experiences, lounge hai, kids area. There are so many other things involved. They're completely public. It's like a public space you are building, not only interiors.
Yes, now because of that we are also like even these operators are also changing with their this thing after COVID, like they are for the kids also, they are giving it the cinemas for the parties, for the birthday parties, or even cinemas also they are giving for any meetings, like for the you can say like their annual meetings or all these things also they are doing. So all these things are getting changed because of that, so we have to always take care of all these things also while designing also.
Yeah, what we plan, the basic plan of the feasibility plan, we always give them the options of differently monetizing the same space.
Okay, okay.
Like for example, now just to separate a cinema along with a lounge, it is not every time possible, because he will not continuously have a lounge for a four screen. For example, a four screen cinema, he might not have a dedicated lounge continuously like all throughout the year. But our planning makes it feasible for him to separate one screen and a small portion of a lobby, so that the privacy of the people who are going to be there for maybe 3-4 hours for cinema viewing with a party together is still maintained,
Like a
and
private
it does
area.
not, yeah, and it does not interfere into their regular operations. Like still all the three other screens are still running with regular operations. There they have a challenges of ticket checking, and the party people should not get mixed with the normal screen people. So all those things are managed by us in the planning stage as well. Nowadays, because of IPL is going to get showed on the cinema
Yes,
screens,
yes.
there are different monetizing options available for the cinema owners who are going to be the future cinema owners. There are going to be different monetizing options. Like for example, edutainment है, sportainment है, मतलब sports related entertainment
Entertainment,
है,
correct.
जो या कॉर्पोरेट, जैसे प्रकाश ने अभी बोला, तो कॉर्पोरेट के लिए लीज आउट करना स्पेस. नाउ इन tier 3 cities you cannot imagine that there are haldi and sangeet functions happening inside a cinema hall. So they are renting out to them. So it is going to be different challenge for us henceforth, and it is right now as well, that we plan the space according to the theme. Planning has to be a neutral planning sometimes,
Basically, on the idea, on the grounds of multi-use spaces, multi-purpose spaces, because
But the
there's
jazzy
one,
and
no
wow
one channel of
the jazzy and wow look should be still there. It has to be there. For that the cinema is known for.
It's always been known for that. I mean, if we go to PVR, if we go to Inox, it's very different experiences, two very different experiences, but they're both of the same use.
Exactly. Every brand has their own challenge. So as you asked him that how differently we design cinemas, the brand identity plays a very important role when we start with the design. So I think brand identity helps us to create different features as well.
That's your design
But it's
process.
a challenge. It's a challenge to us as well. How differently we serve for each client. Like otherwise we cannot use repetitive elements for many of our projects. Now if two projects are going on simultaneously for two different exhibitors, we have to design and treat it totally differently. So that's the challenge.
That's a challenge.
And though it's in the
Because
same
design should
office,
not get repeated anywhere else.
anywhere, I would
Yes,
say,
yes.
anywhere I would say,
Yes.
especially in this, because it's a public format here. Also, if any advice that you would like to give the people who are working under you, or people who so what happens is, most of the students who I contact with, they do architecture and they are just finding where to do masters, what to specialize in, and they don't know exactly which field to take, and something like this may be the last thing that came to their minds. But at the same time, they are also going for movies. They are the ones who are in fact going for most of the movies. So any advice that you'd like to give as to how to take up this field? What is that thing that skill required that you need to
See,
take
I
this
think
up?
no, we will not advise them to go for narrow down to cinema specialization or all. We feel that they should work in different verticals. Like for commercial, you can say go for even hospitality, commercial, residential, and every architectural and interior project they should handle. That's what we feel. This is like a have that much experience, and when you're starting your own practice, then you can, of course, you can see that what type of clients you are getting, what is your network, that type. So then only you will come to know naturally that okay, now I am good at this thing more and I will go in this thing.
That's how you also found.
See, in
Yes.
architecture, you cannot decide on any of the specialization when you start off with your practice. Only thing what is like the knowledge what you have, the base of knowledge, that will only take you forward. Okay, so if you have a good architectural project exposure, then you will be able to get different types of architectural projects and you will be able to handle them. Right, it is finally, even if your network is going to give you good projects, but if you in your initial years after passing out, if you have worked only on interior projects, you will not be able to give justice to an architectural design, because that knowledge of your remains in the academical stage knowledge only. So we will advise to the aspiring architects that you need to work hard for minimum 10 years
Yes.
with different architectural firms, or maybe project management consultancy firm, and different verticals which will give you exposure about each and every different portion of our practice.
See, what we feel that sometimes like what happens like people are they're eager to
Very
give their
impatient.
practice. Yeah, they want to start their own practice. So whatever knowledge they have got from the college, on that basis only they start. They are not talented that enough to have to handle big spaces, big sites and all. So what I feel that whenever you are working in any office, office should have that capacity to, while they should be in more into big spaces, big commercial, residential, any, like even hospitality and all. So they should be aware of that thing, because big area, large scale spaces are totally different to design. They have so many services. Even that also is not taken care that much in college, of course. The MEP services, all this HVAC, firefighting, and everything.
That comes
That's
mostly as an
there.
afterthought.
Yes, but it is not that. While designing also, we take care of all these things. While designing, we take care of the beams, everything, all the structural beams, how they are going to come. So our forms generate out of that thing. But we don't compromise because of that. But we even in the services also, we have to, like a traffic police, we have to guide them that you have to follow these services, you have to pass these pipes from this side, not from this. So we have to guide this thing. But for this, you should have that knowledge. So for that, you have to have somewhere good experience in some.
So you advise that you take at least 10 years. I mean, 10 years is a bit too much. I mean, but at least you need 6-7 years under an
You have
architect,
No, it's
hardcore.
minimum required, because of what.
But nowadays people are not even waiting for a year to start their own
That
firm.
is
That's
the
a big
wrong thing
mistake,
there.
that's a big mistake. So because design is not the only criteria what we do in our practice. What we learn in our academic 5 years is mainly only the design part of it. But for executing a project, you need a detailed knowledge about detailing. Okay, how the materials are handled differently, how the material is installed differently, how it will be failure if we do a wrong detailing. So all these things are detailedly discussed only in architectural practices. So you should expose yourself to different architectural practices. Then the project management, which is a different vertical together, right? So unless and until you know how the project, a large scale project is going to get executed, कल जाके आपको अगर किसी ने बोला कि आई वॉन्ट दिस ड्राइंग टुमारो, सो वाई दैट इज नीडेड, why this drawing is needed at what stage. You are not prepared with this drawing, you are prepared nice presentation, but after that which are the stages of drawing which you need to prepare yourself to deliver for the smooth running of the project. Then coordination with structural designs, why you will guide which beam needs to be planned, how you can change in fact the structural design by asking the structural designer to have wider beam, lesser depth beam, so that it allows your services to pass through below that, and it still gives a good ceiling height inside the space of the building. So all this is like you are going to be a captain of the ship after you complete architecture. So being a captain, you have to know each and every corner of your project and should be able to have a strength enough to answer to those challenges. Right now, to have that strength, you have to have a knowledge. To have a knowledge, you have to work for at least minimum 10 years. We are guiding that to our own daughter as well. So we are not asking her to start practicing even with us. We are asking, she has specialized in parametric design. So again, the specialization of your masters will guide you that you will go into some vertical. But in that vertical also, you should expose yourself to different architectural practices which will teach you how to handle the projects differently.
Work wise, if you're like, if you have like an argument, like being architects, I know we always love arguing. We love, having difference of opinions and taking that back home.
And design arguments, nobody will win.
Yes, and in design, anyone can argue.
Anyone can
Anyone
keep
can
on
argue
arguing
design.
on it.
So in our case, only that one what we also feel fortunate that we have separated our duty, our works basically. So like designing the concept and all, which I start with that thing, I do that thing. And other things, of course, all the working drawings and even the tenders and everything, and of course with the all the works to be done, everything with the staff and everything, all she does it.
See, it is unusual to maybe for any viewer to listen to this, but they should listen to this. That it is always not true that women understand design or the colors.
Yeah.
It has proved the other way around in our case. And in our case, he is more perfect and more creative when it comes to design than me. Okay. So we accepted our role based on our strength. So his strength is design. Okay, so we accepted our role that he is going to be the designer of the firm, and he accepted me as I am going to be the complete coordinator for everything, like whether it's going to be creating working drawing for then coordination with different consultants. So that way we divided our role based on our strength. So that helped our practice very well, and because of that sharp line of division, we could practice and we could do every project together. So it was doing every project together, being part of that project, having a fun of being together, but still less of arguments. I will not say no
There's a very
arguments.
good boundary between you guys.
See, I will not say no arguments. The arguments are going to be there. Many a times, the arguments comes to the dining table, and that is eventually part of such practices. But you should be smart enough to handle those as well. So luckily we have.
Yeah, fortunately, you all are together and the firm is yet running, the marriage is running. But all the best to you guys.
Thank
I'm
you
very
so much.
excited,
Thank you so much.
I'm very happy that the viewers are going to take a lot of knowledge from this episode, and especially because it specializes in cinema and theatre design, which is comparatively unusual and different from architectural conventional drawings and designs. And at the same time, a very good, bond that you all do have. So yeah, I'm very excited for this episode as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for
much,
having us
Devanshi.
here.